I knew Skills and Vallejo had more to say, and maybe he choked on an apple or something like that.
Oh, geez.
Here, Skills, what happened to you, man? Why'd you stop talking?
My bad, Willard and Dibs. Honestly, I was laughing so hard at the Angel Hernandez and Brandon Belt conversation. I missed you trying to come back to me. I apologize.
It's
All
okay.
right, Skills.
It's okay.
Shake it off like a Luciano error.
Well, yeah, the point I want to make has to do with Luciano and Matos and Ramos.
Okay.
And here's the thing. Those guys, I'm afraid that as long because, a lot of general managers, a lot of team executives, they don't want to just win. They want to win with their guys. It's that Jerry Jones thing. And Farhan, what was first thing he comes in when he took over this job? He cleaned out Bobby Evans' guys, brought in all his own guys. And right now, he's got three guys in Ramos, Matos, and Luciano who are not his guys. Those are Evans' guys. And he'll look better if Ahmed succeeds at shortstop ahead of Luciano. He'll look better himself. Whether or not the team or Luciano is better, it doesn't matter to him. I don't think it matters to him. I'm afraid it doesn't matter to him. But I hope I'm wrong. That's my thought on the situation.
Skills, love you. You have to be wrong. And here's why. Like, at a certain point, I would hope, and I know Farhan has got a lot of people out there listening to us who are not fans of his. I get it. But at a certain point, I can't think his ego is that big. Because if his ego is that big, he's essentially going to fire himself. What you're suggesting, basically, is that the Giants have finally started winning baseball games, which in theory is the only thing that will keep Farhan here for another handful of years, is the Giants winning games. By the way, there's one other thing. Now, they kind of go hand in hand. I don't know how many of you know. Did you see pictures of the ballpark yesterday?
Looked pretty crowded.
Packed.
Sellout.
Packed.
40,000, right?
Okay?
Yep.
I know it's a holiday weekend and the sun was out, but understand that anybody whose last name is Johnson, that's what they care about. That's what has Farhan in hot water, is a lifeless team and an empty ballpark. If this thing starts filling up, and newsflash, it's going to be full again this weekend.
Should be.
I've heard that the opponent has, a little bit of a name value thing.
Arson Judge.
He's coming. So as long as that building is full and the Giants usually score more runs than the other team, Farhan's going to be incredibly safe. He is not going to look at what has happened these last 2 weeks, kick himself in the shin, and go, I'm sending them all back down because Slates and Conforto and Ahmed are back. Can you imagine what would happen if he just does that, and then all of a sudden the Giants start losing baseball games 3-2 again?
It'd be a mutiny.
So he's not, come on. He's not that out of his mind.
He's not. And, you look at other things about, the roster construction and Luciano at short. Well, he'll have to make a decision there. And Austin Slater, I think, is the big one when he's actually rehabbed and ready, although I'm guessing that his rehab is longer than most rehabs are. I think they're going to give him a nice long stretch at Sacramento to get better and get healthy and see if he can't find his swing again before they promote him and bring him back to the big club. Ideally for Slater, he would play well in Sacramento, come up here and have a week or two, and then maybe they would be able to trade him and get something for him if they decide they want to move off him.
Yep. Listen, and by the way, I know that this is sort of counter to Skills' point because this is, quote, a Farhan guy, but this whole youth movement thing, I love what FP said to us last week with regard to the Latin flavor and the vibe and the energy that is brought by these three guys. It's not just these three guys. Elliot Ramos is 24. You know who else is 24? Patrick Bailey is 24.
Yeah.
Patrick Bailey is going to be an all-star. Patrick Bailey might be a perennial all-star at the catcher position for the Giants, the way he is playing both on offense and defense as a switch hitter. Now, he's about to be 25. I had to get this comment in today because he's turning 25 tomorrow.
Okay. Tomorrow. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Patrick. But anyway.
And what's Logan Webb? 26?
Logan Webb is...
it doesn't feel like he's much older than that.
Logan Webb is 27.
Okay.
And will turn 28 before the end of the calendar year.
Right.
So he's got a little bit extra.
But as far as your point, and, to what Skills is saying about the young people, you do have a lot more young people than just, the core three that have come up. And Duvall will turn 27 on the 4th of July, so he's a young person as well. So when you look across what this team could look like in the next 2 to 4 years, it's going to be less about Conforto and Yaz and Chapman and more about more about Matos and Ramos and Luciano, hopefully, and the other young guys.
Don't forget, there's another 25-year-old also that has his name has not even come up today. It's Jung-Hoo Lee, 25 years old.
Okay, there you go.
So like this is far-ranging, the direction this is going.
Farhan ranging.
Tyro Estrada just turned 28. So
still young.
Yep, ish. And by the way, a cool acquisition that this team made a few years back. So we'll see what this Tyler Fitzgerald situation does.
Right.
6 homers in 6 days. Holy smokes.
Crazy.
So this could go a lot of ways.
And he'll be 27 in September, so another young player.
So I don't know what they're going to do with Luciano. There's 2 things. A, I find the whole situation confusing as to why he is still at shortstop or what it is that was seen years ago. However, I'd also argue the Giants are quickly arriving at a spot where you don't need to be so beholden to 1 or 2 specific players panning out from the minor leagues. You don't have to do that. You know what I mean? If Luciano's a bust, Luciano's a bust. And I'm not saying he is, and I'm nowhere near that. But the Giants are not in a spot, in my opinion. This is another thing I hope the last 2 weeks is done for people. The whole play the kids thing,
right?
Which you and I have talked out. I really appreciate it. I had a few people come up to me this weekend about the play the kids thing.
Yeah.
There's a few of you out there that understand what we're getting at. There's 2 different play the kids statements.
Right.
Play the kids like, hey, play the kids. They're doing great. Is very different than play the kids.
Totally.
Which means I hate this team. Let's give up.
Right.
And just huck all the at-bats to young people.
It's either play the kids and win or play the kids or win. And that's the way you said, just play the kids.
Yes.
That's play the kids or win. Like, we don't even care if we win, just play the kids. But they're taking the approach of play the kids and win because the kids are helping you win.
Right. But that's not great for Luciano. Because if you're going to kick balls at short, the bottom line is I hope these last 2 weeks have helped this organization and all of us fans understand that this team can compete. Yes, this year, yes, they can. And so absolutely nothing, in my opinion, should be given away this year in the name of development. Nothing. If you can't play, you don't stay. Period. That's it. And that's exactly how they have to play it. There is no time to lose. This is not a rebuild. It's not a building year. It's not an anything. It's a make the freaking playoffs year because you are one of the top 10 spending teams in all of baseball, and you have a rotation that, in theory, if healthy, should scare the crap out of anybody in October.
Right. In October, and right now it's not as scary because Blake Snell is a 4-inning guy, and you've got, other than that, you've got an opener tonight, and Harrison's been good, Logan's been good, but he can't get a win, and Jordan Hicks has been the best in the staff.
There's another young name we didn't even bring up.
22, Kyle Harrison, 22
years old.
Yep,
and contributing,
younger than my oldest.
Oh,
and that's the one that hits me. And just a quick aside, I remember being a certain age where it's like, man, this guy's younger than I am. Boy, I'm getting old. And then it's like, oh my God, every single person on this roster is younger than I am.
Right.
Geez, I'm getting old. And now it's, oh my God, that guy's younger than my oldest child.
Younger than my kid.
Younger than my kid.
I don't like that at all.
No, and you're going to get there because, not yet. Not yet. And I don't know if there are any pro athletes who are younger than your kid. Maybe there's a tennis player out there or a couple of golfers, but
I would hope not.
In the majors. Cringy. And, we were going through the roster and we were talking about the age of these guys. And so I'm clicking on everyone's name and I just clicked on Kyle Harrison and I looked at it and he's, exactly 2 months younger than my oldest son.
22.
Yeah.
22.
My kid's turned 23 in June. Kyle's birthday's in August.
What'd you make of this?
I'm old.